Welcome to this IBM Cloud Cost and Asset Management demonstration running on IBM Cloud Private. The demo was created by Kavitha Suresh Kumar, Technical Architect from the IBM Cloud Brokerage Cost and Asset Management Group in IBM India. The narration is by Louis Carrasco-Cortez, IBM Cloud Private Leader, Canada. What we will show you today in IBM Cost and Asset Management, which I will also refer to as ICAM, on this demo works for public clouds such as IBM, also known as SoftLayer, Google, AWS, and Azure, and private clouds made up of VMware vSphere environments. Number 1, demonstration of the initial screen when you first log on, setting up the service that you will monitor and manage, and of the cost management capabilities of ICAM. When you first log in to IBM Cloud Cost and Asset Management, also known as ICAM, you will get this greeting. From this initial window, you will select the services that you want to analyze and manage as well as govern. And for today, we will work with AWS. You will access the AWS service by pressing select as shown. You will then enter all your billing credentials in order for the API to be accessed. ICAM will then validate your entries, and once AWS acknowledges that you have entered all the information correctly, the API will be set and the account will be saved in ICAM so that we can start analyzing. The next step is to add asset accounts that will be analyzed. At this stage, you will enter the asset account name in order to set the API credentials. Enter the asset account name, the key ID, and the secret access ID, and then go ahead and press Connect Asset Account. Once the asset account has been validated, you will get a reply message saying that the account has been saved in ICAM. Now that you have the account created, you can start analyzing those accounts. Within a few minutes, all the credentials will be validated and the data will be ready for analysis. Press Proceed to start the analysis. Press Analyze Accounts once again in order to get ICAM to start the analysis. This may take a few minutes the first time. This is what you will see while the analysis is being conducted. Once the analysis is finished, you will get this message and you notice that the bars turn to green. We will now click on Costs in order to do a full analysis of this environment from a cost perspective. Here you see the cost analysis screen, and we will analyze the different components on an individual basis. As I scroll through the cost versus budget graph, you will see that we get a cost for each month, and at this stage the budget says not available because we have not set up budgets yet. We will now go ahead and set up the budgetary units by clicking as shown. Once the new budgetary units screen comes up, click on Assign New Budget as shown. Here we will assign the budgetary unit indicated in the blue square, which will load up under the budgetary unit name. Assign a description for the budgetary unit name. Now we will enter the annual budget for that budgetary unit. We assigned a total budget of $24,000 per year for this budgetary unit. The system allocates the $24,000 evenly throughout every month of the year automatically. You can adjust the monthly budget as you wish. Once you are done, click Save. The system will send you an acknowledgement that the budgetary unit has successfully been created. Once the budgetary unit has been created with its assigned budget, you will see this screen. Let's go back to the cost window to see how adding budgets changes the data that we get to see. Now that we have monthly budgets, you can see that many of the months have a red dot, which says that all those months are over budget. Also notice that the analytics of the system give you a forecast for your rising costs and that is based on the trend. The cost versus budgetary unit analysis section allows you to compare your cost versus budget accounts. In the cost donut chart, the dark green indicates the highest priced asset account. When you click on the dark green, you will see that it adjusts all the graphs to show the cost only for this particular asset account, which totals $39,000. When you click again, it goes back to the total cost, which is $51,200. Notice that the chart has also been readjusted to show the total cost. Let us now look at the cost versus category donut chart section. The darkest color indicates the highest cost category. In this case, it is compute. By clicking on that section, all the graphs have readjusted to show only compute costs. Clicking again on the dark color brings you back to the total costs. Notice that for this demonstration, we only see one account because that is all we set up when we started the demonstration. However, you can imagine that you will be able to see all the accounts across multiple platforms as we showed at the start of this demonstration. As you scroll down the page, you will see detailed information that allows you to invoice departments to recover your costs if you wish. You can click on an individual line to see details of the invoice. Once you click on that row, this is the page that you will see that gives you the details for that invoice item. Click on the properties to view the details of the invoice line item. As you can see, this is an extremely detailed report, and you will note that the domains are identified individually to ensure that you can precisely invoice people inside your company. You can even drill down to see the associated costs with that invoice line to be even more precise in your recovery efforts. Here you can see all the details of the associated costs as shown on the page. You can easily download all this invoicing data to a CSV file. Notice that you get a macro analysis of all your costs, and you can see that there was a rate of 10% increase month over month in August, and your assets had grown by 41%. Section 2, demonstrating the asset management capabilities of the solution, which will also illustrate the very tight governance and management capabilities of ICAM. To access the asset management section, click on Assets as shown here. Once you access the Assets window, this is what you will see. And note that the graph gives you a snapshot of all your assets, and the size of the box is relative to the cost of that asset. Additionally, you can see the assets by utilization, which is indicated by the color. Note that given the utilization of most of these assets is colored red, which means that it's under 10%, could this indicate a risk to the enterprise if you, let's say, had thousands of assets deployed across multiple public clouds? Because the objective of ICAM is not just to give you management and cost analysis, but also governance, we seek to give you all the information in an easy to see chart. The donut chart analysis allows you to dig in deeper and look at details, for example, cost by asset type. The map below shows you how your workloads are deployed around the world. This geographical representation could give you insights that help you manage risk, for example, especially if you are subject to regulations that prevent you from having workloads or data outside of certain geographical regions. You can click on one specific data center to see all your assets in that one data center. This graph shows you how assets have grown over time. As you scroll down on the assets page, you will get all the detailed information that you can download to a CSV file. By clicking on a specific row, you can get a detailed analysis of any asset on that list. The detailed analysis will allow you to see cost over time issues over time and utilization over time, which is critical not just to managing cost, but also to ensuring governance and management of all assets across your enterprise computing. Now we will show in section 3 how you set policies in order to bring on governance across computing in public clouds, private clouds, or vSphere VMware environments. You access the policy setting area by clicking on policies as shown on this page. The policies page allows the user to get a quick snapshot of how issues are evolving over time. For example, underutilized assets, the age of assets, or overutilized assets, all of which can create risk to the enterprise. We can, for example, drill down to view underutilized assets by clicking on the appropriate category. By scrolling down on the page, you will get a detailed report with all the underutilized assets in order to get a comprehensive picture of what's going on. You can click on any one row in that report in order to get very detailed analysis, as you can see on this page. Please note that the report identifies the asset uniquely in order for you to easily identify the asset, be able to manage it, and control risk in case it is violating policies that you have set. In order to enforce governance, you have to set policies in the first place, and you do that by clicking on policy settings as shown on this page. There will be 4 types of policies that you will be able to set in this system. Underutilized assets, which you can set yourself, and utilization drop for assets. Additionally, you can control the age of the assets and overutilized assets. In section 4, we will show you the insights capabilities of the solution, which help you with governance and management of the computing environment that is overseen by ICAM. You access the Insights section by clicking on Insights as shown on this page. The system will give you insights on savings, risk, and costs. On the savings side, by clicking on the donut, you will get a report that tells you potential savings by following recommendations. Now, you can view savings through 3 filters: by recommendation, by service, or by asset type. And each one will give you detailed reports based on the filter that you choose. For example, by switching to a view by service type, you will see that we now show the different AWS service instances and the cost associated with that instance. Here you get a view by asset type. As always, the darkest color shows the greatest source of risk, and in this case it happens to be downsized asset. When you look at the analysis by cost and you look at the recommendations, you will note that the leading assets can lead to $1,835 in savings, and this is usually due to the fact that they are underutilized or perhaps never utilized, although you're paying for them. As shown before, you can change the filters to view cost savings in different ways, such as by service and by asset type, in addition to recommendations. By scrolling down on the page, you get the detailed report that you can download as a CSV file. By clicking on any one row, you can see all the details pertaining to the recommendation for that specific asset. For example, the recommendation for this particular asset is to shut it down, and the report gives you the reason, which happens to be that this particular virtual machine's utilization is very low. We finished the demo by showing you how to set tags, which is a convenient way of grouping assets together by the same category, which will help you manage and govern these assets more effectively. You access the tags area of the solution by clicking on tags as shown here. Once you access the tags page, click on Add New Tag to create a new one. You will then type your tag key and assign a value to your tag as shown here. Click on Save New Tag to create the tag. The system will acknowledge success once the tag has been created. Let's go back to the Assets page to put tags to work by grouping a number of assets under the same tag. Here we will do bulk tagging. You will scroll down on the Assets page and you will select as shown however many assets you want grouped under one tag, and then you will select under the tag icon to apply the tags. Search for the tag that you want to apply. For our example, we are using the test/demo tag that we created previously. Click on Apply Tag to assign the tag to the 4 assets that we selected. Once the tag is successfully assigned to those assets, you will get a notification from the system indicating success. Notice that now the detailed report shows the 4 assets are grouped under the same tag. We will now go back to the tags page in order to create a favorite tag from the test tag that we just created. Once in the tag page, click on Manage Favorite Tag Key as shown here. Assign Test as a favorite tag, press Save Changes, and once the job is done, you will get an acknowledgement from the system notifying you of the successful completion. The reason why you want to create favorite tags is that it allows you to create a new filter for all your reports that will give you greater insight. Thank you for your time today. We hope that this demonstration of ICAM has given you a greater perspective on its ability to help you manage costs and utilization, as well as govern, decrease risk across all your enterprise computing that is managed by ICAM, as well as give you a complete view of your environment by leveraging analytics.